My parents begged for money after my brother emptied them out, so I reminded them who they chose. My brother Justin was my parents' miracle baby, born after 3 miscarriages, and from the start, he could do no wrong. I learned fast that I was the backup kid. If I brought home an A, Mom would glance at it and say, "That's nice," then ask if Justin wanted pizza. If Justin did his homework once without being told, Dad acted like he'd cured a disease. I worked summers at 14 for my own clothes, while Justin got weekend shopping sprees. I paid for driving lessons and a beat-up used car, and Justin got a BMW for his 16th birthday because he has more potential. Anytime I asked why, Dad would sigh like I was being difficult and say I should be happy for my brother. Senior year, I got into MIT for computer science with a partial scholarship. That same day, Justin got suspended again for getting caught breaking test rules. At dinner, nobody asked about my acceptance. They only talked about how stressful school was for Justin and how unfair the adults were being to him. When I asked for help covering the rest of my tuition, Mom said college wasn't for everyone and maybe I should learn a trade. Then, right in front of me, they bragged about hiring Justin a private tutor and promised him a brand new Mustang if he just graduated. I didn't scream, I didn't beg, I just felt my stomach drop, like I finally saw the truth in bright light. The day after graduation, I signed up for the Air Force. My parents called it a phase and said I was trying to hurt them, but they still didn't offer a dime for school. In the service, I learned cybersecurity, took night classes, and finished my degree on base. I earned my master's online while deployed, doing homework on a tiny laptop between shifts. Justin, meanwhile, bounced through community colleges, switched majors every semester, and still lived at home at 25 like he was a teenager. My parents kept funding his big plans, the kind that always needed just one more loan. After I got out, I landed a solid cybersecurity job with a defense contractor. Within a few years, I was making 6 figures, working remote, and I bought a small lake house with cash. I kept contact low, mostly showing up on holidays because ignoring them completely felt like it would start a war. Every visit was the same. Mom would hug me like we were close, then spend half the meal yelling upstairs for Justin to come down. He'd appear in sweatpants, grab food, and vanish back to his games. My parents would smile proudly and explain his newest get-rich-quick idea like it was genius, then ask if I could help him set up a website or look over a business email because I was good with computers. If I said no, Dad would get stiff and talk about family loyalty. Once, I tried warning them. Justin had started helping with online banking, and I saw him grab Mom's phone and type her passwords without even asking. One time he smirked and said, "Relax, I've got it," while Mom nodded like he was the adult. I said, "You should keep your own logins." Mom laughed and said, "Oh, he handles all that. It's such a relief." Dad added, "He's responsible now. He's taking care of us." The next holiday, Dad pulled me aside in the garage and hinted I should co-sign a loan so Justin could get on his feet. I said no. Dad's face went cold, and he said I was selfish, even though I'd never asked them for anything. Then came the call at 2 a.m. My phone buzzed, and I almost ignored it, but I saw Mom's name and answered. She was sobbing so hard I could barely understand her. "Honey, we need your help. Something terrible happened." She said Justin had been managing their money for 2 years. It started with paying bills online, then he took over everything. Now their retirement account was drained. The house they owned outright had a huge second mortgage, and Dad's construction business had bankruptcy papers filed that morning. Credit cards were maxed out, loans were taken in Dad's name for Justin's investments, and even Mom's jewelry was gone, sold off without her knowing. I could hear Dad in the background, breathing heavy, not saying a word. Mom whispered, "We might lose everything. Please, you're the only one who's successful. Can you help us?" I sat in my quiet, paid-off house, looking at the dark lake through my window, and I felt something I'd never felt about them before. Calm. I said, "Do you remember when I got into MIT and you told me college wasn't for everyone and I should find a trade?" Mom choked out, "That was different." I said, "No, it wasn't. You chose Justin every time. You trusted him with everything, and you pushed me out. I'm not fixing this." Dad finally spoke, sharp and angry. "So you're just going to let us lose our home?" I said, "You already decided who mattered. Now live with it." Mom cried my name again, louder, like she thought volume would change my mind. I didn't yell back. I just ended the call and blocked both their numbers. Now my family is saying I'm cruel for blocking them. Was I wrong?